Good morning and namaste. I'm Nandini Mouli and thank you for tuning to our program today on this show where we discuss key Indian events happening in the tri-state area, Washington DC, Maryland and Delaware. Today we are here to discuss an important initiative taken by Aim For Seva, All India Movement for Seva. If you wish to have peace in this world, we should start educating children. The father of our homeland, Mahatma Gandhi, mentioned, there is no greater violence than to deny the benefits and opportunity to educate children. By the words of Kailash Satyarthi, who is a Nobel Prize winner, also from India, proclaimed. Today, what we have is a situation where there are over 8 crores of Indian children living in rural India not getting educated. By the study that was done in 2016, about 78 lakhs of these children have to also work on top of going to school. These are some appalling statistics. One that brings and begs at least 2 questions. How can we make the lives of these rural children better? How can we educate these children so that they could have a very good life? To address these, our spiritual leader, Pujya Sri Dayananda Saraswatigal, started this movement, Aim For Seva, back in 2000. Aim For Seva once again stands for All India Movement for Seva. The focus of this organization is to provide education, one that is actually value-based, and it provides not only education but also complete care, all the way from education to empowering children so that they become model children in the world. To talk about this and our initiatives from the DC chapter, I'm joined by Dr. Siva Subramanian, who is actually the professor of pediatrics in the Georgetown Medical School and also the president of this DC chapter, along with Mathangi Thyagarajan, who is a great volunteer of this organization. On top of it, she is managing cancer research programs in the National Research Institute. Mathangi and Dr. Shiva, welcome to the program.
Namaste.
We can start off with you, Dr. Shiva, and I know that the organization has quite a lot of achievements under its belt. Since 2000, they have been able to build at least 97 hostels in 16 states and close to 1,500 villages, and also have been able to make an impact on at least 14,000 children's lives. On top of these features, what are some of the other distinguishing characteristics of this organization that our viewers should be aware of and get to join our organization?
Thank you, Nandini ji, for the opportunity to be able to address your audience. As you already said, All India Movement for Seva is focused on providing education to children. As you already mentioned the statistics, several million children in India don't even get any education, and several of them have to work during this. So one of the mothers from a village talked to the Swamiji and said, you have to provide some place where they can come and stay so they can finish their education. And that is how they started providing free student hostels or free student homes, as it is called, or chatralayas, started establishing. And by now, as you mentioned, close to 100 free student homes exist in 16 states. And the idea is for the child, instead of traveling through several kilometers of difficult surroundings from a tribal area or a poor village with a child who cannot afford to educate, to make sure they can come and stay and get educated. So the free student homes provide free, not alone education, but also in terms of boarding, lodging, coaching, after school activities, extracurricular activities, computer learning. There are so many of these things, as you already said, value-based education that is given to them. So we take the child to the finish line. And this is actually, I would say, our mantra. Take the child to the finish line, finish high school, and many of them will go on to college. So that is the focus.
That's absolutely wonderful, noble also, on top of really making an impact on these children's lives. And Mathangi, I know you have been a part of this organization for a long time. I've seen you work very hard for the cause. And in terms of personal impact, what has it made for you as an inner journey and as you go through this organization as a volunteer?
Thank you, Nandini ji. I come from a modest family that always stressed the value of education. And I honestly believe that education is critical to have a better world. I have a very successful career today, and that's because of the very strong education as well as moral values I received as a child. When I was raised in a spiritual household where we also honestly believe that Manava Seva, Madhava Seva, which means service to humanity is service to God. There is no better way of empowering these kids than giving them the right education. You can give money or food which would solve a temporary problem, but if you empower poor kids with education, it solves a long-term problem. That's when I came across this organization, Aim For Seva. This is probably the only organization with the least administrative cost, where most of the donation, over 90%, goes towards the actual cost. It's a very noble cause. When I look at these Chatralayas and the programs that they have, it is exhilarating. The vision is wonderful. Tireless volunteers and donors like you all make it really happen. And that's when I realized that if I want to give something back to the community, it has to be through an organization like this that really works. And the good thing about this organization is that it's the events and the programs that they have is for the entire family. This is part of our lives now. Everybody in my family is part of it, and we bond over it. My kids, whenever I teach them values, I just don't want to tell them. I want to involve them. And you have to teach these values by involving them at a very young age. It's very easy to take these things for granted. They have to understand how privileged they are. They have to understand those underprivileged kids and reach out their helping hands right from the beginning as a way of their lives. So this organization has provided me that opportunity, which has been wonderful. And I really urge several of you to be a part of this organization and have this as part of your lives.
That's very well said, Mathangi. Thank you for those words. And I can see that they are coming from your heart, from your true involvement from inside. And we do have something planned for this year to thank our donors, patrons, volunteers who have been working very hard to make this mission a success. In the DC chapter, we are planning to conduct and host a very large music and theatre production on 29th of September, coming Saturday, at the NOVA Ernst auditorium. This is going to be a mega dance performance organized and choreographed by Srimati Remati Ramachandran. Mathangi, can you say something about this program, some details and background? How did it all evolve?
So Jagat Pavani Ganga is this wonderful program conceptualized, choreographed and directed by Mrs. Revati Ramachandran. This program depicts the Himalayan Ganga in its ancient as well as contemporary verses. It's a depiction of this river, which is considered the most sacred river of India. The program, the production itself is interweaved and has multiple aspects. It has Bharatanatyam, Carnatic music, Garhwali folk music and dance, mime and theatre. It's a wonderful production that not only talks about the story of the river Ganga, but it also focuses on the environmental issues and the importance of preserving this very ancient and sacred river of India. It's a wonderful production. that created raves in India for the past 2 years, and I'm so happy that it's coming to our town here in Washington, D.C. The concept was from Mrs. Revathi Ramachandran, as we know, is a well-known, renowned dancer in India. She's also now the director of Kalakshetra, a world-famous institution for art, performing arts and culture in India. The music is composed by Sri Nalgudi Krishnan, and Manaswini, her talented daughter, is going to lead this troupe. So we are very, very excited that an exotic, wonderful production like this is coming to our town here. And I really urge all of you to come, watch the show, enjoy the show, and please do support Aim For Seva.
Thank you, Mathangi. Well said again. And in terms of the logistics, Dr. Shiva, this type of event and initiative take so many volunteers, so many millions of dollars and so on overall. But within the DC chapter itself, you probably have been looking at the logistics very closely. Can you share some of that with the viewers?
Yeah. Before mentioning that, I just want to add to what Mathangi said. The show itself is free, so you can all come and enjoy. And whatever you want to support, Aim For Seva, it's up to you. But it is something for you to come and enjoy. The production is just phenomenal. The critics have acclaimed in terms of what it is. So please do come on Saturday, September 29th. So I just wanted to add that. And so in terms of looking at in terms of the impact, the Aim For Seva movement, has many, many children in India. It's now almost 4,000 children every year. They are moving forward and they're adding and expanding. And in the United States, as a completely within multiple cities, we are taking care of about 1,800 children. We are supporting them. And in our DC, Maryland, Virginia area, we are covering 155 children from 5 of those free student homes. With your support, we can do this and more with your intense support, the resources that are needed. We are also, the Aim For Seva, thinking in terms of adding more free student homes as well. About 8 of them are going to be coming in north, south, west, and northeast in Nagaland as well. So in many places it is coming as well. So we need the support, and please come and in large numbers to see the production. You will be amazed and impressed, in terms of what they are talking about Ganga, not alone just the sacred river from ancient days, but also current environmental components that are intricately involved in terms of to sustain rivers like Ganga.
Very good, excellent. Once again, it is going to be happening on the 29th of September, next Saturday. And you have heard all the things related to the preparation and logistics and so on. There are ample ways you can participate as a volunteer also. So please go to our website www.aimforsevausa.org and go to the DC chapter range and volunteer your time. We also would like to have your monetary support go a long ways to support a child that we are planning to adopt from the DC chapter this year. So we look forward to seeing you on the 29th, next Saturday, around 5 p.m. There would be many other ways you can get to know the information about this chapter, also about our organization also. So until we see you next Saturday, this is Nandini Mouli thanking you for tuning to our program along with my special guest, Dr. Siva Subramanian.
Namaste.
And Ms. Mathangi Thyagarajan. Namaste, Hari Om, Salam.